Hi, this is Mark of the Expert Corner. Before I move on too far, in the fixed diamonds, before I start talking about poly diamonds and mono diamonds, in the fixed stone diamonds, these are the Wicked Edge diamonds. These are the Genda. I have uh, other diamonds that I bought from Amazon, real inexpensive on plastic plates. I have some of them on metal plates. And I want to talk about that real quick. What makes one stone better than the other stone? Well, first of all, most of the sharpener companies, I use Wicked Edge, there's others, TS Prof, Hapstone, Edge Pro, others. Most of those guys don't make their own stones. They associate with stone makers. Some of them are very closely aligned. Others are sharpener makers and they offer other people's stones with their sharpeners. All that said, which is better? How do you know one better? Well, because most of them don't make their own stones, there's a lot of stones that have brand names, and I stick with brand name stones of reputable, known names that have been in the marketplace for many years for the quality control. How those different stones that are made by different makers, Shapton's, Nanawa, Norton's, 3M. I mean, it's endless, and I don't even speak with a broad point of view because I'm American. I only know from the American market, whereas the CBN and those are coming from Europe and overseas, and I don't use the 1x6 much, so I don't know from them. But the CBN, to equate it, is a fixed stone like the diamond stone. Just the abrasive is a step less hard than a diamond. So they will wear and fracture and go away more easily than a diamond, but they're very, very close to the quality of a diamond stone. The quality of a diamond stone scratch pattern is distinct. The CBN is essentially the same looking scratch pattern. I personally have not worked with CBN. I have spoken with people who know stones and know the stones I work with, and they say it is in essence the same kind of scratch pattern, that like a claw deep scratch pattern. So that said, we don't need to talk about them. The diamonds and the CBNs we're going to group together. The other diamonds, the other abrasives, if they're plated, whether they be silicon dioxide, I don't remember my chemistry, silicon oxide or aluminum oxide, whether they be on lapping films or in a resin plate, they are softer abrasives than diamonds and CBNs, so they are effective relative to the hardness of the steel. They are different, not the quality. The quality of the results may be different, but they are relative. So you don't want to try to say a diamond's better than the aluminum oxide because they're different. And the difference is the quality that you associate with what you need to use them. You use the whetstones where they're effective, you use the diamonds, and the CBNs where they're effective, you use the lapping films, they're finer where they're effective. Each of the mediums have a place to be used, and you have to pick and choose how you use them so that you match the scratch pattern in a way that helps you go from the coarse rough that you're starting with, more refined down to the results you're looking for. Just to use the different mediums in order of the grits doesn't necessarily work. There's a point where the quality of the scratch pattern is different, even though it fits in with the scale of grits. The quality of its scratch pattern is so different that it really doesn't fit in with the flow of events. If you're trying to go from rough finish to very fine to mirror polish, and that results. Now, if you're strictly looking to sharpen, where those abrasive qualities change may be an enhancement for your edge and be a good finish for your polishing. Such as a ceramic stone is different in its scratch pattern, but it's a very good finishing stone following a diamond progression. Now let me see where I want to go with this. I'm looking at the time. I wanted to talk about the quality of the stones. And the quality of the stones has to do with the components or the ingredients, so to speak. We go to places like Capstone, like Genda, like Norton, because their sorting of the abrasive side, their quality control is good, and the way they affix it on the stone, their quality control is good, and it's predictable, and it's what you expect to see year after year after year after year after year. When you buy all these different names that we can find at the different online sellers today, we can't necessarily make that same statement about the quality control. Now, after we talk about the quality control and we compare good quality with good quality products, well made with good consistency to them, so that I know that my Chaucera stones cut the same way as Doug's Chaucera stones, and his scratch pattern is the same as mine. So when we're talking on the phone, we're seeing the same thing. When we know that we're using products that have that reputable ability, then we're able to compare them and understand the different qualities of stones that make them inconsistent. So we need to, if we're all using different crap that we call diamond stones, and some of them are sorted very legitimately in grits, and some of them are a mixed bag and a wide tolerance, then they're not comparable. One of them is going to give you a dirty scratch pattern. The other one's going to be very clean and consistent. And every time you see it from years on, it's going to be something you can count on. The other one is going to be what it is, and you're going to buy it from another Chinese maker, and it's going to be different what it is. So the quality control is not there. Even though they're inexpensive and they'll give you a good results because they're diamond stones. It's still a diamond, even though it's not a good mix of diamonds and a good size sort and good clean diamonds that are all the same, because some diamonds they're all industrial diamonds, but the mono side and the poly side, which I'm going to go into next, makes for a different quality of the way they cut. And those inexpensive stones don't have that quality control that allows them to be compared with real good diamond stones, or the KMEs or the Gendies or what he's offering at Gritomatic, that sort of thing. So that's why it's worth paying a little more, because then you have something that's comparable and relatable. But when you start getting those sets of stones, I'm looking for one. Let me see what I got here. Amazon diamond stones. I think it was about $16. I got 2 sets, so I had left and right, and I think it was about $16. And the stones go from 80 grit to 3,000. And I would expect to get about, I don't know, 15 knives out of them. And they're on aluminum plates, so they do have some flex to them. So the quality control is not there. I would never dare to want to compare them with the quality of a Genda stone, excuse me. But if that's what you want to buy, they work because they're diamonds and they are affixed and they're okay. And I have no qualms with anybody using their budget how they need to. But I want to let you know that don't expect much from these. This is why I work with quality stuff, because of repeatability and longevity and that stuff. I'm going to stop here because I want to talk about stropping compounds. There is so much here that we could talk about. It would be endless. Thanks.